Ever wonder what your neighbors get up to behind closed doors? Well, now you can find out with Dynamic Pixel's stealth thriller game, Hello Neighbor. Hi, I'm Brendan with the Leaderboard, and today we're counting down 7 Hello Neighbor facts you should know. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. Let's get started. Origins. With its odd mix of tense stealth gameplay and cutesy Pixar graphics, Hello Neighbor immediately caught the attention of fans with its pre-alpha release. Since then, the game has continued to amass a substantial following throughout its lengthy development cycle. Development of the game didn't get off to a smooth start. In 2015, Dynamic Pixels, who had previously developed over 50 games for the mobile market, made the move to PC gaming. They began working on the basic game design, artwork, and developing the ambitious AI. The game made its way onto Steam Greenlight, and things seemed to be going well. In an attempt to raise additional funding to finish the game, they launched a Kickstarter campaign with a goal of $100,000. They hoped to add multiplayer, multi-console support, and random house generation. At the end of the campaign, however, they'd only managed to raise $13,000, and it seemed like the neighbor's secrets might remain hidden forever. But the game found life once more. Tiny Build Games, who had been impressed after seeing a demo, partnered with Dynamic Pixels to pull the game out of development limbo. Adopting an open development methodology that Tiny Build had utilized with other games, a pre-alpha version of the game was soon released. According to Tiny Build's Alex Porchik, the story of the game was partly inspired by his visit to an American suburb. Porchik is Latvian, so suburban American life was a new experience for him. He was interested in the sense of mystery surrounding the people who live close to you. He said, quote, "If my neighbor was holding somebody hostage in a basement, I would never know, but I would want to find out." The game treads a careful line between outright horror thriller like Alien Isolation and a family-friendly Pixar film, an intentional move to keep the game focused on curiosity and tension rather than jumps and scares. TV series Orphan Black was one of the early influences on the game, as were the Portal games. In particular, breaking free of GLaDOS' test chambers and feeling that you'd somehow broken the game was something they were keen to evolve. Gameplay. The story begins with your character moving into a house across the street from a peculiar neighbor. Lured in by strange goings-on in the neighbor's house, the player starts to explore, with the end goal of infiltrating his heavily fortified basement. Your main obstacle? The mustachioed neighbor himself, who, after sensing an intruder, will relentlessly hunt you down. Don't get caught, because he'll throw you back onto your side of the street. With a variety of items at your disposal and multiple ways of getting in and around the house, the game rewards resourcefulness. Items range from standards like keys, flashlights, and crowbars to more unexpected things like apples, watering cans, umbrellas, and binoculars. But don't expect the sandbox gameplay to make your life easy. The neighbor gets wise to your ways pretty fast. If you like getting into the house through the window, expect bear traps on future attempts. Prefer using certain doors? He'll block them with furniture. Taking similar routes can also result in a CCTV alarm system to alert him to your whereabouts. He is smart and adaptive, so don't stay static. Approaching the house at any time acts as a safe zone, with the neighbor apparently forgetting about your attempted home invasion as soon as you're back on your side of the street. But as soon as you step onto his turf, he'll be hunting you again. As well as avoiding your neighbor at all costs, you'll also be tasked with some puzzle solving to unlock new rooms and gain access to new floors. Some of these unlockable rooms are known as fear rooms. These strange, nightmarish areas feature possessed mannequins and a creepy shadow figure, which makes them feel distinct from other areas of the house. You'll also find that some rooms play with size and perspective to add a new element to the platforming. Completing these areas unlocks new abilities. AI modes. Hello Neighbor's success relies heavily on how convincing the AI is, so it's no surprise that much time has been spent in developing a functioning adaptive AI. The neighbor has multiple modes of function. In his idle mode, the neighbor is going about his daily activities, washing the dishes, fixing the car, watching TV, the kinds of things you'd expect from your average neighbor. In hunt mode, as the name suggests, the neighbor is hunting you based on changes that have occurred in the house, such as moved objects or any loud sounds. The more careful you are, the less likely it is that he will know you've even been in the house. Though the neighbor doesn't know where you are in this mode, you need to be mindful of where you're going and where you like to hide, because all that data is being analyzed by the AI. That's just one way to make sure he's got the upper hand. Attack mode means you're in his line of vision and are likely soon to be caught. In offline mode, our resourceful neighbor is setting up traps to make sure you're not getting back in. Like Home Alone, but way creepier. Alphas, alphas, alphas. Hello Neighbor currently clocks in with an impressive number of builds for a game that hasn't even been released yet. With an early prototype, a pre-alpha, 4 alphas, and 3 betas, there's been plenty of opportunity to keep the development process transparent. Developers even try to incorporate requests from their enthusiastic fan base into the game. Some examples of those changes include increasing the amount of platforming, making sure secrets are more thoroughly hidden, increasing the difficulty and number of puzzles, and keeping the tone of the game lighter to appeal to younger gamers. The early alphas featured simple house designs, 1 or 2 accessible floors, and limited puzzles. These have developed into the current beta, where the house has grown into a multi-floored mixture of a theme park and an insane asylum. Becoming progressively stranger, the houses have featured a robotic shark, a shooting gallery, an elevator, a windmill, a train, and lots of golden apples. The area outside the house has also opened up, revealing the larger world. And the developers have experimented with a day-night cycle, with some versions including both, and others being fixed at either day or night. In a major change in the latest beta, the neighbor was also able to climb up ladders, a challenge that the development team had difficulty implementing in earlier iterations. The basements have also gone through their fair share of iterations. Unlocking the basement in the pre-alpha revealed absolutely nothing. In Alpha 1, it prompted a short cutscene in which the neighbor is burying you in a coffin. Later versions included playable basements, like the candlelit room in Alpha 2 that looks like some sort of sacrificial chamber, a room with the neighbor weeping in the corner in Alpha 3, and a black void with floating rooms in Alpha 4 and the betas. Beta 3 also has a boss battle with the giant version of the neighbor. Interestingly, this giant neighbor can also be seen in a dream sequence all the way back in the pre-alpha. This battle is an extended platforming sequence in a dreamlike world, whose objective is to enter the house on the neighbor's back. Mysteries, theories, and themes. Though on one level the game can be enjoyed for its cutesy graphics, charming characters, and tense gameplay, dig a little deeper and you'll find plenty to suggest that there's more going on. Thanks to the game's active fan base, which has been involved from the very early stages of the game, there have been hundreds of fan theories about the identity of the player, the neighbor, and the shadow figure. Many theories revolve around the fear rooms and the mannequins. The fear rooms include a classroom, a grocery store, and a pantry. Fans have speculated that these might be referencing traumatic past events, such as deaths in the neighbor's family, or unresolved childhood incidents. Some other theories include your player being related to the neighbor, either as his brother or as his son. This is possibly referenced in some of the cutscenes. Another theory suggests that the neighbor has made a deal with the devil, i.e. the shadow figure, as referenced by the multiple biblical clues found throughout the game. Or that the whole game is actually based on the real Winchester Mystery House. This theory is backed up a bit by an early post by Dynamic Pixels on the Hello Neighbor Steam page about the Winchester House. The house was occupied by Sarah Winchester, daughter of the inventor of the Winchester rifle. Sarah feared being haunted by the souls of those shot with the rifle, so she built a complicated maze-like house to try and confuse the spirits. In the same post, Dynamic Pixels referenced H.H. Holmes, a serial killer who built a complex hotel known as the Castle, with the aim of confusing and terrifying his victims. They go on to compare the neighbor's house to these two houses. Another theory speculates about the link between the neighbor and Baba Yaga, a witch from Russian folklore who has a house that walks around on chicken legs. The theory cites many similarities between Baba Yaga and the neighbor in the final boss battle. Other theories speculate about the missing children posters, the golden apples, the birthday cake room, and how piecing together two halves of a QR code found in the game reads, "Can you see it? Remember 1006063. I had to hide it, they might find out." Another cryptic clue. Mods. Continuing the trend of open development, TinyBuild and ModDB recently teamed up to release a modding competition, featuring cash prizes for the most creative and interesting mods of Hello Neighbor. The mod kit allows players to create new levels and puzzles, and utilize the AI. With hundreds of entries already submitted, the competition only further highlights how active the Hello Neighbor community is. TinyBuild recently posted a video on their YouTube account showcasing a few of their favorite mods. Beyond using the developer kit for making mods, fans have been poring over the wealth of new information at their fingertips to see if any new secrets can be found. And fans have uncovered a pretty big one. An entire new boss fight was discovered, featuring the shadow figure and a child version of the neighbor. The goal is to protect the neighbor from the shadow. Your character gets bigger and bigger as you do until the shadow is eventually destroyed. Many theories speculate that your character and the neighbor are related, and this ending certainly seems to add credence to those ideas. There have been rumors that this was an ending cut from the game. A full ending cutscene plays after completing the new boss battle, which only adds more fuel to the fire. Hey, speaking of mods, for those of you who are fans of Bendy and the Ink Machine, there's a special Halloween crossover mod featuring the neighbor wearing a Bendy mask. Several other Bendy faces appear throughout the house, and a yellow filter is applied over the game. The neighbor also featured in Bendy and the Ink Machine, replacing Bendy in 3 chapters. Final release. In August 2017, 2 weeks before the game was scheduled to be released, TinyBuild announced that they'd delay the release until December 8th. They cited changing to a new version of the Unreal Engine as one of the main reasons for the delay. In a video on YouTube, Nichi Porchik said they'd rather release the game after proper QA testing than to release a broken game. While disappointing to the fans, TinyBuild also dropped in a few new facts and details to soften the blow, one of which was that the beta only contains about 40% of the content of the final game. Nichi Porchik also alluded to multiple boss fights and multiple basements, showing that there's plenty left to explore in the final release in December. Hello Neighbor has already garnered a massive community of fans, and that means many, many, many more home invasions. Well, that about covers it. Once again, I'm Brendan, and thanks for watching our 7 facts about Hello Neighbor. Is there info we missed that deserves the spotlight? Do you have any Hello Neighbor tips? Let us know in the comments below. We have new videos dropping every day, so let us know what game you want us to cover next. Don't forget to click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad, and if you like getting more from your games, subscribe to the Leaderboard, your home for video game fact.